Good afternoon. We framed up the second level. We're still waiting on trusses to come. Let's do a little walk and see where we're at. What we did to achieve the second level build here and to make an entirely flush ceiling on the inside. For starters, we increased the height of this multi-panel door. What we did is we raised this header up to the second plate. And by doing that, we added an additional 4 inches of height. Now our next goal is to do a change order and achieve the same look here with this front door. Broaden it just a little bit, raise it up same level, and then actually cantilever these 2x10s out just like we have it here and extend this deck that we see up here out and over. Right now we have a PSL on that side, and then we have another PSL over there. So what we're gonna try to do is then extend that over, have that cantilevered out. We may do another PSL that shoots all the way back. We were a bit conflicted on this front here. What are we gonna do? We have this front, it's too close to the deck here. If we just cut it back, that makes an awkward hip. Drew up several plans. One plan was, how about an A-frame? How are we gonna make an A-frame look good? So our plan now is demo this overhang, increase the size of that front door, and then bring this deck over and back. Now let's go inside. In here, original plan, post down here in the center of the kitchen. Then there was all these lowered beams going across. That was the original. Went back to the drawing board and we installed this W54 beam. Now what is W54? That's weight 54. That's 54 pounds per foot. This beam weighed about close to 1,200 pounds. And then that's on a point load here. So point load comes down and then goes down to the large footing that we have. That's a 4 foot by 4 foot footing. And over here we have another point load, as you can see, and that goes down to another footing, very large down here. We encountered pipes in that footing, old pipes, so we had to reroute those, bring them up through, reconnect them. A point load is where all the weight of the building comes down. So we have a point load there, we have a point load here, and then we have a massive point load over here. What we did with this point load here is we added a really nice post. This is a grade 1 Doug fir post, and we'll sand that up. It's a beauty the way it is. We'll sand that real nice. We did a concealed hardware down there, recessed that hardware just a little bit in the ground there so that when the flooring comes, it'll butt up right to the post. Then we'll plug these holes. This could get stained really nice. So then we flushed up this beam. All these used to be lower. We flushed up everything in the kitchen. Now you have this big open concept. Got rid of the post. Now we're in here. After getting rid of that post, we had to bring our gas and electric over into the island. So that went underground there. That is all tested, good to go for the island, which will be here. We're gonna add a skylight and we're gonna open up the ceiling. We're gonna cut the ceiling back, and we're gonna vault a section of that ceiling up to the skylight at an angle and make this a nice kitchen feature. Now, as far as the hood vent, we racked our brain on that. What are we gonna do with the hood vent? We have a steel beam here. The stove lands right here in this area. This beam is right in the way of a vent. We were originally thinking a recess vent, not going to work. Not with this beam, not with the steel. And then we were thinking the surface mount, we could run it up, make a little bit of a chase, and then run it over and out. After much thought, the owner decided to do a concealed vent, which will raise up from the countertop. What we're gonna do to make that happen is we're gonna put the venting under the ground in the concrete. That's gonna come up, 6-inch vent, go underneath the concrete, and then it'll come up in the kitchen cabinet and then exit out the building. We'll move these pipes and all that out of the way. Now let's talk about all this plumbing. We're going to get rid of a lot of this plumbing. we're gonna bring in our own plumbing lines. There'll be a water heater on the upper level exterior of the building, and then that will come in, then we'll convert it to copper in this attic space so that rats, etc., cannot eat the PEX. Then we'll bring that through that 3/4 line, and the hot water is gonna come almost instantly here at the kitchen, as a hot water heater is very close. Rather than tying to the existing lines, which go underneath the slab, I didn't want to risk that with the potential of a future slab leak if that were ever to happen. I wanted to isolate the new addition from the existing house. I also put in 2 isolation valves so that could get turned off, and if ever needs to get rerouted, easy to fix. Here, this is where we'll come in, right where the sewer line is exiting the building. We're going to share this trench with the water. We'll come in with the water here, go under the ground. That will isolate this whole addition up above here from the rest of the house. Let's take a look at the upper level and see where we're at and what changes we made on the upper level to make things better. Before we get up to the upper level, we also made changes to the stairway to give it an open concept. We added that PSL as well as this PSL. We added this post, and then these stairs will have a nice open concept. There'll be a railing all along here, and then these stairs will be open treads right here with a little bit of a guard. So that'll look really nice. Kind of open that up. There'll be a window here. All this daylight will come through into the living space. Let's walk up here. So we talked about a water heater. Well, that's gonna be right on this wall. So we'll have a water heater, and we're gonna have a small wall-mounted heat pump, which will provide heating and cooling for the living room space down below here, with a cassette that will be recessed into the ceiling. Actually, that cassette is going to go right here underneath this deck. This will be a future deck. It'll also have sleepers, and we're gonna put actual Ipe decking over the waterproofing. There'll be a step here to the doorway. Here in the master bedroom, and what we did is we changed the ceiling to be a vaulted ceiling. That required thickening those trusses up to 16 inches and then getting that 312 pitch. It's very low pitch. This vaulted ceiling will all be trusses. It'll have a nice center beam that goes across. It's gonna be a really nice master bedroom feature. I also increased the size of this door. The door used to be a bit lower. We raised all that up. We raised the ceiling height just a little bit. We have taller ceilings, bigger door. That opens up everything really nice for that ocean view and that real nice ocean breeze that you get up here. We saved that twisted juniper. That'll be nice. Wake up in the morning, come out here, sip some coffee, trees right there. The plus about extending this deck is now they can add some more furniture over here that wasn't able to be added before. Over here, I added an attic access, which will be concealed by a desk. And that'll be really nice to be able to get access to all our mechanical, electrical, plumbing, little nifty things like that. Those are things that we want to add in a project. Large hall window there. We're gonna add a skylight over here. Guys actually need to frame that in. I need to talk to them about that. 2-foot by 2-foot skylight right here, fixed. And then we have an office. We have a really nice window in here. We have our slope on our 2x12 framing. All that will slope down, and then it'll slope to that corner over there. And then there'll be a high-low drain in that corner. Over here, we have the same thing. This corner over here will also have a drain. We have our 2x12s ripped down, sloped down, and all the water will get to this point over here, as well as that point over there. So it flows in multiple directions. It flows down, so we have a peak right here. All the water will flow out and go out the building that way and out the building that way. Over here, we have a toilet. We're gonna have a really nice shower here with a really nice skylight that will be operable in this area. Then we'll have our window. We'll have a double stack washer and dryer. If they want to do some laundry up here, they can. This is a very large master bathroom, so they'll have plenty of space. We'll have our vanity sinks over here. Little window, add some extra light right over here. Next time, we'll have the trusses up in place. We'll have some plumbing done, some electrical, some HVAC. So in another 2-3 weeks, we should be well on our way to getting insulation done. And we'll do a full walk video then, showing everything that we've done up to that point before putting in insulation. And we'll have the panel in place. We have a 100 amp sub panel, also isolating this whole unit from the rest of the building with its own sub. When I build these units, I really like to isolate as much as possible. Gas, plumbing, electric. What I mean by isolate is go directly to the source and tee off of that rather than add a bunch of breakers to an existing panel. Add my own panel, isolate the water from the rest of the house. Down below here, we have that trench I'll show you next time. We're gonna angle our 3-inch plumbing that goes to the master bath down into the existing 4-inch. We're also gonna reroute that 4-inch. As it goes underneath the garage, we're gonna route that around, make that better. We'll show all that to you next time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.